You're listening to the BNI Effect, the home of Brisbane entrepreneurs who believe in givers gain. I'm Tony Meredith, and ordinarily I'm a business coach who specialises in sales and leadership. But today I'm your host and fellow BNI member, bringing you yet another exciting episode. In this episode, I chat with a Brisbane BNI member to explore their biggest wins, biggest lessons, and how you can get the most out of your BNI membership. This is episode number 114, and today's guest is Chris Bishop from Terrain Electrical. Welcome, Chris.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. Let's kick it off with you sharing what's the best referral that you've either given or received through BNI?
I'll straight into it. So the best referral I've ever received is from one of our fellow chapter members. Just recently started in the chapter, and we had a one-to-one, as we normally do when we first sign up, and told him about some of our capabilities in regards to data and fiber. And he had a customer that was experiencing a lot of issues. So he said, would you be interested in going up, seeing this customer and solving some of their problems? So I spent a few days up there, got them going again, and then they've turned around and said, well, now that you've been able to do this, we'd love to do all these upgrades at the site. And so 6 months on, we've actually got this huge ongoing project with them that's resulted in about $500,000 worth of business.
Wow. And that's come from a one-to-one, right?
A
And,
one
and
a one to one, and we just recently started. So yeah, it was great to kick off our, I guess, our partnership with BNI and our membership, and it just shows true to form the power of the BNI network.
what an amazing example around the power of BNI, as you said. So you talked about you've just started your partnership with BNI. So when did you first discover BNI?
So we started the business in May of last year, and we actually didn't actually hear about BNI at the beginning. We had some website troubles, and so I rang up the local website developer. And during that conversation about websites, he mentioned to me that he was actually the president of the chapter, and would you like to come along? As we need an electrician in the seat. And I said, oh, that sounds interesting. So we spoke a bit more, went for a visitor's day, and yeah, I was pretty much sold on the first visit. Signed up fairly straight after that point, and yeah, been in BNI Waste ever since.
And so what was it about that first visit that encouraged you to sign up straight away?
So mainly it was the structure. So I love being around like-minded people. I could see the value in that we're all business-minded. The givers gain principle really stood out with me. That yes, you're going there obviously for your own business, but you definitely tune into the needs of others and you start to build your networks. And that carries through to everyday business. So when you're out on the job and you need someone that needs a service, you're thinking, oh, I know this person that you could really benefit from. And so the way you think and the way you communicate as you're networking through your day-to-day life really becomes tuned into the BNI ecosystem.
So you signed up straight away. How long into your BNI journey did you say to yourself that, you know what, this is going to be worth it?
Well, pretty much within that month, as part of the onboarding, you go through this process of doing some education online, and then you have to go and see certain members of the team, and they teach you how to interact with the software or how to do, one-to-ones. And so that was only, a couple of weeks of being a member that we had that one-to-one, and within, a couple of weeks from that point, then I got this breakthrough referral which has been really good to hold everything together for the last 12 months while we've been exploring and growing our business, and obviously with other BNI opportunities that have come across since then.
So you're having phenomenal success in BNI. Chris, what is it that you do that consistently brings you results?
I guess we focus on parts of the business. So even though that we do electrical, data, air conditioning, and security, we always go back to three fundamentals, which is safety first, then functionality, and then aesthetics last. So we always go to a customer site looking at opportunities to educate, to look at the safety side of things, and explain to customers things that they don't know what they don't know. So by taking that time, that obviously builds trust. They also see that we care, and it's a more of a personal relationship. And so that when we say, well, these are the things you need to do, it just naturally occurs rather than there's no hard sell. It's just this is the legislation and this is what we recommend.
Yeah, fantastic. And in BNI specifically, what do you do, mate, that brings you success in BNI?
In BNI, I guess it's consistency. So rocking up every week, a part of the visitor host team now. So I get to meet and greet everyone every week, both our existing members, but also the new visitors. So you're getting exposure to new people, and I guess that's consistency. And then the other thing that I've really noticed over the last 12 months is as time has gone on and we've done jobs for members, that those weekly testimonials and feedback has then boosted trust and confidence as we've grown, to the point where I've actually brought along some of our tradesmen to the meetings just so that they can see what I'm talking about when I mention this every week to them that, hey, there's this, 30 odd people in a room talking about this wonderful job that you did last week. So they actually got to be in the room and experience that testimonial back at them, so that they feel like a really valued member of the team as well, and they understand a little bit about why go to BNI every week and how valuable it is to the business's success.
And on the flip side, what are some of the mistakes that you see other members make that perhaps holds them back from achieving success in BNI?
I guess, and it happened to me a little bit, is when you go to BNI the first time, you don't know what you don't know, and you've got all these, wonderful people, but you're afraid to start off with. So I guess it's not giving BNI the time to let that process of building relationships occur. So it's not going to just happen overnight. And when you do make those relationships, it's following up. So it's great to do a one-to-one, but if the one-to-one has outcomes and you don't follow through, it's just a glorified coffee break. So it's that consistently rocking up every week, following through on your one-to-ones, and building those relationships.
Let's talk about Terrain Electrical. So you've just clocked over your 1 year anniversary, which is very exciting. So let's tell the viewers and the listeners a little bit about Terrain Electrical.
Yeah, so as I mentioned before, we have four main pillars to the business, and we're servicing all of Brisbane and the greater area. So this whole corner. Yeah, so with our electrical data, air conditioning, and security systems, we basically one pillar of the business feeds the other. So we get called out for a range of reasons. We do 24/7 breakdowns as well. So we get called up on weekends. Uh, People that have come home from work at night time to no power in their house, and they need those after hours services. So we attend to those, and then that generates into a relationship that then usually leads on to other work or other referrals, because we find that a lot of people haven't had an electrician at their house who cares, that literally wants to spend that time and go, are you aware, da 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 da. So it's definitely relationship building first, people buying from people, and that's, I guess, the difference that terrain brings.
What's a common problem that your clients face and how do you solve that?
The one that we get a lot of is people calling around for service and either not getting callbacks, or they'll get a callback saying, but we can't see you in, a week or 2 weeks. So we've got a very extensive back end model that supports the customer from the initial phone call right through to the job being executed. So we make sure that the customer is informed the whole way through. So that's probably like one of our points of differences, and it's the difference that the customer hasn't necessarily seen with their own electrician if they've already got one, or they see, and for example, they may have their own electrician, but they've got us there for an air conditioner. So they see how we do the air conditioning and our attention to detail, and the result, at the end of the day, the results and the outcomes speak for themselves. And because of that, then they go, well, we'd like you back for our electrical work, even though we have used another electrician in the past. So it's been a great model that each of these four pillars of the business feed each other, and yeah, it's also our point of difference.
Who's an ideal referral for you right now?
So in the commercial space, we're looking at any of the businesses and like light commercial or light industrial areas like warehouses, corporate office environments, but we also do residential as well. So yeah, we ideally would like those people that need an ongoing maintenance contract. They need service work. They need a dependable electrician that, will say that when they're going to say we're going to be there, they'll be there. And so that's what we target is that commercial and light industrial environment.
Well, if there's anyone out there who's listening or watching or knows someone who fits into that category, then please feel free to reach out to Chris. Let's change gears, mate. We're going to play a word association game now. I'm going to say a word and I'm looking for your immediate response. So we're going to kick it off with networking.
BNI,
Referrals.
relationships,
Success.
relationships that working towards business done, business completed.
Coffee.
Mornings at BNI.
Giver's gain.
That's it. You get back what you put into it.
Sport.
Soccer,
Team.
terrain,
BNI.
family with a common goal.
Oh, I love it. Fantastic. Thank you, mate. Appreciate your answers there. If you could give us one piece of advice to someone who wants to grow their business through networking, specifically BNI networking, what would that advice be, Chris?
It would be to look at the different chapters. They all have different flavors, and find one that resonates with you with like-minded people. And when you're around like-minded people, you naturally want to do well, and communication will flow, the relationships will flow, and yeah, you'll have every success.
It's a good point you make that even though it's BNI, every chapter is run by humans and it's got their slight little nuances, their slight variations, their different culture. And so it's a good point you make that if you go to a BNI and you think to yourself, perhaps that's not for you, it's not the end of the world. It's not all BNI. It's just about keep looking for the chapter that's a better fit for you. So, no, wonderful advice, Chris. What's one thing that's exciting that's happening for you and for Terrain Electrical right now that you'd like the viewers or listeners to know about?
So I guess just being around for 12 months, we've learnt a lot. We've grown a lot of relationships, and so I guess our big things that are happening now is that we're expanding our network. So outside of our own chapters, we have multiple employees in other chapters. So growing that network, we attended BNI National not too long ago. And we've already signed up for BNI National next year because it's just such an amazing place of, again, like-minded people that even though we were in a different state, we still made so many contacts up from Queensland, and we even got some business out of it. So it's you can get business anywhere, and form those relationships. So that's probably the biggest thing moving forwards is that we're branching out, building our commercial networks and partnering with other trades.
Just go back to the fact that you went to the conference and you were able to secure some business out of it. Why do you think that was the case?
Um, I guess a couple of things, like already you're all in BNI, so that barrier's already broken down, some of those fears and already increased your trust because they know that you're in BNI just like they are. So that's the first thing. The fact that we go to national and that we make the effort to be there, these people are like a core. They really live and breathe the BNI values. They see the value in spending the effort to be there, and so they're obviously a reflection of their own input into BNI. So when we get there, all those trust and relationship parts are done. Now we're just talking about like what the different businesses do and how can I help again with Givers Gain? How can we help each other, grow our businesses and make relationships?
Well, firstly, congratulations on your own success. I'm glad that you enjoyed the national conference, and also what a wonderful advertisement for the national conference. And so, for those viewers or listeners who are thinking about will I or won't I go to the 2027 national conference, clearly the answer is yes. And as Chris said, you put yourself out there, you meet some new people, and you just never know where that might lead. Mate, how can listeners or viewers learn more about you, or perhaps get in touch with you, Chris?
Well, there's many ways. We're on all the social media platforms. The website, trainelectrical.com.au. Google us, and yeah, whichever means, we'd be happy to get in contact with you.
Fantastic. And of course, come along to BNI Oasis on Tuesday mornings at the United Service Club at Spring Hill, which is where you would also find me as well. So fantastic. Thank you, Chris. I really appreciate it. Look, that wraps up another episode of the BNI Effect. Many thanks to today's guest, Chris Bishop, for sharing his insights with us and showing us what's possible. If you're a member of BNI, perhaps there's a tip or trick that Chris has shared that you can implement over the next week. And if you're a visitor to BNI, then I hope you've seen how powerful this community really can be. Subscribe to hear or view more real stories from Brisbane BNI members. And until next time, give more, trust more, grow more.